I woke up the other day with a million things on my mind. I need to do this, need to do that. I want to update my to-do list in order that I know what to do. Stuff like that. And then I realized, wait a minute. Maybe I should slow down and just take some time to contemplate, collect my thoughts, focus on one thing. So I decided to read a little bit, have some contemplation, devotion, pray, and take it slow. As I was doing this, which was a great choice, I hear something going on outside our room, and it was the cat or the cats. I thought they were, sometimes they fight. We have two, and so there was something else. There was something else going on. So I checked it out. So sure enough, one of our cats brought in a mouse, which is good. I'm glad that they hunt mice and kill them and get rid of them, because we have an old house, and whoever has an old house knows mice come in anywhere. They find a way in, and we have a barn. So I'm grateful for the cats, but I'm not so grateful that they bring their gifts into our room. And I learned to praise my cats. When we had our first cats after we first got married, Cori and I, she brought in something, bird, mouse, whatever, and I'm like freaking out, and there's blood streaks on the ground, on the floor. I'm like, what the heck? What are you doing? Ah! And Corinne said to me, well, no, wait, this is, she brings that to you as a gift. You need to appreciate it. You need to praise her. I'm like, what? Okay, so I learned to do that. So first response to what I witnessed in the morning was like, okay, good job. So now, can you please take it outside? And of course, it's a cat. The cat doesn't listen. It's like looking at me. What are you talking about? I'm a cat. All right, so there's blood streaks on the carpet, on the floor. I'm like, great. This is not what I had in mind. Other things in my mind, not this thing. So finally, the cat is just still playing with it. The mouse is dead, right? Just flips it around. Yeah. And I get some toilet paper and pick up the mouse, bite its tail, throw it outside. Of course, the cat was not happy. What happened to my thing here? You just took my prized possession away from me. Whatever. So I clean this up. As I do this, I go to the bathroom. I step into something wet. I'm like, this is not what I think it is. And it was. Cat pee. So the same cat that is great with mice, praise her for that, peed on the floor. Again. And the box is right next to it. I don't know why. And I'm like, seriously? And the cat sits over there and looks at me. What? And I'm having this conversation. This sounds weird. With the cat. I'm like, did you do this? And the cat's like, what are you talking about? So you didn't just do that. Deny. I don't know what you're talking about. Didn't do anything. That was me. And I'm like thinking like, this is like, look, my kids. It wasn't me. It's nobody. So I'm like, are you going to clean this up? I'm a cat. What are you talking about? And besides, it was Nibs. Nibs is the other cat. Anyway, so eventually I cleaned it up. But before I did this, I took the cat. And I took her and got close to the pee with her face just to make her smell it. And hopefully be as disgusted as I was. And of course, she didn't like that at all. So she took off. I'm like, why keep doing this? Come on, this is a box. She's very meticulous about if there's stuff in there from the other cat and too much of her stuff, she decides to pee on the floor. This is great. So I clean this up, finally get downstairs, do some reading, have a coffee. A cup of coffee helps. And then the cat comes. The same cat that I feel like, man, you should be grateful. We rescued you. We went to the pet store. You were a rescue cat, 2.5 years old. Nobody wanted you. And we took you in. Our oldest had pity on you. And we took you in, which is great. I love that fact. But now this is what you do. You repay me peeing on the floor. Come on. So she jumps up. And normally, sometimes she gets on the chair, on the back of the chair, and just sits there, which is great. So she's a great cat. Don't get me wrong. And but also what this cat is, she's a Manx cat. which means she has no tail. No tail. There's no movement in the tail. She has no function. So sometimes, and that's by design, they're just born without a tail. And so sometimes some of her stuff that she should do in the toilet, in the box, gets stuck. And sure enough, I look around and she moves and it drops right into my chair. And I'm like, dude, seriously? First the mouse, then the cat pee, and now you drop. Where's the bag? Where's the bag? Take the cat, take it to the river. Not gonna do that. I love my cat, but I was not pleased. So I do that too. So why I'm saying all of this? We have expectations. I do. You do probably. It's whether it's with our pets, whether it's our work, whether it's with our family, our spouse, our kids. I mean, thinking about kids, I'm like, you have these expectations. Maybe none at all. You don't know what expects you. You don't know what's coming, right? You just have a bunch of little people, and you're like, figure this out. Okay, so this is how I change them. This is how I feed them. This is how you're like zombies for years because you have not enough sleep. That all comes with the package of having a child. And then in our case, because we have them all very close together, there's 7.5 years of straight diapers. 7.5 years. And that's the norm. That's not what I expected. That just came with the package. And you learn to live with it, and you have grace with it, and you're like, you know what? That's just how it is. After 7.5 years, it stops. And you're like, oh my God, I got a life. I can sleep again. By the way, the cat is back there. Can't believe it. She might come up here soon. So, 7.5 years, and you feel like, I got my life back. And there's other issues coming, which again, you didn't expect. Now, to hold it again, they have their own lives, their own personality, which I love, and we encourage them to develop their own personality, become their own people, their own person. So I want that. We want that. We raise them that way. But now it's other things you deal with. It's like attitude, being ungrateful, disobedience. It's like, hey, could you take out the trash or do the dishes? No. What do you mean no? No, I'm not going to do it. You're not going to do what now? What I just asked you to do? No, I'm not going to do it. Okay, so there's other things that will happen in your life soon based on your choice, because if you don't do that. So there's other ways of communication, things you need to figure out in order to make that work. What I'm saying with this, whether it's children, I mean, that would be another video altogether. I'm just trying to wrap it all together based on my experience with my cat. Whether it's kids, relationships, and here she comes. You have to see that. You hear maybe that little bell, and she just wants to have a conversation with me again. It's like, what, you sharing this now with everybody? You're talking about me in front of the camera, sharing it on all the platforms about what I just did? That's just so unfair. Well, it is. I have the camera. I'm in charge, not you. Anyway, so what I'm saying is there's stuff that we don't expect. And there's many more things in life. Life takes turns and twists, and we don't expect it. We can't see them coming because it happens. Sometimes based on our choice and sometimes not. Sometimes you adopt a pet like this and you think this is the perfect pet. You know, it's great. We have mice. She takes care of it. She likes to cuddle. She likes to go out when she wants to. It's very, cats compared to dogs are very self-reliant. You just open the door, they go out, and you just ring the bell, or, we normally take the little dish with a fork or a knife, ding, 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 and they come back in. It's great. But what I didn't expect is that the cat pees on the floor, that she drops her stuff somewhere in the house that we find. So we all have expectations, and we have to learn to live with them, to be more graceful, have more grace with ourselves and with those around us, whether it's the pet whether it's our spouse, whether it's our kids, whether it can be our jobs. We think sometimes a job is, I have this perfect job, or we want the perfect job. And I think, like if I talk to people about their jobs, a lot of times I find out a lot of people do something based on whether it's you make good money, relationships are great there, or social engagement. But a lot of people, they don't like what they do. It's just part of like, okay, I have to do this. And I get that. But again, there's expectations, and we're looking for the perfect job. We're looking for the perfect relationship. We're looking for the perfect pet. They don't exist because I'm not perfect. They are not perfect. And we have these expectations. And I'm learning. I'm not there. This is not now something, hey, I figured this out, so I'm sharing with you. This is what you need to do. Point A, B, C, the 7 steps to the 9 points of the 5 ways to the, I don't know. No, I haven't figured it out. I'm still learning. But it helps me processing. I went for a walk processing this. And I want to be grateful. I want to be grateful to have a cat with those side effects. But that just comes with the package. It's a great cat. And I said yes to it. We took her from the shelter and we adopted her. And we gave her a home and gave her love and food and all what she needs. And she in return gives us a lot. It's the same, obviously not the same, but with anything that's in our lives, our jobs, our relationships, our children. There's so much more that the blessings, the things that we get out of it, I think, than the things that don't work, or the things that we don't expect, or the things that tend to annoy us, or we like, well, I have a hard time with dealing with something like this. Well, I'm learning, and I hope maybe that strikes a chord where you're at with any of this. I just felt like sharing my cat story. That went into a lot of other things. Maybe could have done it shorter, but here we are. And just push the button and I will push it again. That's my perspective. Have grace with yourself. Have grace with those around you. Learn to deal with the unexpected, as I'm learning, still learning. And we get there. We get there. It's day by day, step by step. Have a great day. That's my perspective. Talk to you next time.